so much for coming. Ladies and gentlemen, a pretty lady I like to see every time. Yes, representing Action Aid, Miss Blessing. Where is she? Please can we clap for her? Thank you so much. I like to see her in programs. Thank you so much. Of course, all political parties represented. Please can we clap for all of them? All political parties represented here. Thank you so much. And all of the forums, all of our partner forums seated with us, we thank you. Most especially before I come to our hosts, it's all the medias represented here. I'm sure I can cite all of them from Global TV to channels, to News Central, to Arise, to AIT, to ROBN, to NTA, and then WBN. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. All of both the print medias, all seated here, and all other platforms here. And of course, to our major partners who are also here from the NOA. In a very special way, I'd like us to please put hands together for the representative of the DG, who is here in his own capacity, the Director of Voters Education, Dr. Olokami. Please, can we clap for him? Can we clap for him? Oh, sorry, Hal. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, to set the ball rolling, I would like us to please welcome to give us her opening speech. Yes, our opening speech, all from the Humanitarian Foundation for Social Justice and the Crate Studio. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Gold Iyan. Please, can we welcome them? Gold Iyan, please. I'm sure it's going to be on a video, right? So, camera, please, can you shift to? Are you ready for that? Yes. Let me also celebrate the representative of the chairman of INEC. Please, wherever you're seated, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much. And all our partners, thank you so much. Please, can we have the video? Now, I cited a gentleman who is very articulate in today's politics and government, the national youth leader of the Labour Party, Comrade Collins Okpara. Please, can we clap for him? Can we clap for him? Thank you so much. Sir, can you stand? Let them see you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Multimedia, please. Multimedia, are you there? Is Gold here?
And members of the academia and intellectual community, development partners, ladies and gentlemen. It's with great pleasure that I welcome you to this important roundtable meeting on 2027 general elections jointly organized by Humanitarian Foundation for Social Justice and the Create Studio Nigeria. Your presence here today demonstrates our shared commitment to the consolidation of our democracy in Nigeria and to the pursuit of credible, peaceful, inclusive, and development-oriented elections. I thank you all for honoring this very special invitation and making time to contribute to this national conversation. This roundtable is conceived as a platform for constructive engagement among critical stakeholders. We have gathered to examine the forthcoming 2027 general elections by reflecting on the gains already recorded in our democratic journey, identifying challenges confronting our electoral processes, and collectively profiling practical solutions that can strengthen our democracy. As we all know, democracy is not an end in itself, it's a means to an end. The ultimate purpose of democracy is to achieve development, improve the social conditions of citizens, expand opportunities, protect the rights, and enhance the quality of life of the people. Democracy remains the most credible model of governance because those who seek public offices present themselves before the people with the promises, ideas, programs aimed at promoting development and public welfare. When leaders perform credibly, the electorate may renew their mandate. When they fail, the people reserve the constitutional right to terminate that mandate through the ballot box. For democracy to deliver these dividends, elections must be free, fair, transparent, and conducted in substantial compliance with the Electoral Act. Credible elections are the foundation upon which public trust, public stability, and sustainability development are built. Distinguished participants, achieving this objective requires the active engagement of all stakeholders, government institutions, election management bodies, political parties, civil society organizations, and media, youth, women, and other groups inclusive. Persons with disabilities, traditional rulers, and all of them, our broader citizenry, all have critical roles to play in safeguarding the integrity of our electoral process. In this regard, I wish to commend the National Orientation Agency for its ongoing public sensitization efforts toward deepening democratic participation and civic responsibility. I also commend the media for consistently providing platform for public discourse on Nigeria's democratic journey. An informed citizenry is indispensable to a healthy democracy, and this meeting seeks to further strengthen the culture of informed engagement. Part of this program is also the launch of the Create Studio, a veritable platform designed to provide young people with opportunities to express and harness their creative talent while deepening engagement with Nigeria's electoral process. You will hear more about this initiative as the event progresses. I encourage us all to approach today's deliberation with open minds, patriotism, and commitment to the national interest. Let our discussion be frank, evidence-based, and solution-driven. The recommendations that emerge from this roundtable should contribute meaningfully to ongoing efforts to improve electoral governance and democratic accountability in Nigeria. On behalf of the Humanitarian Foundation for Social Justice, the Create Studio Nigeria, I once again warmly welcome you to this roundtable. I wish us fruitful deliberations and a successful meeting. Thank you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you. I haven't set the ball rolling. We'll take it from there. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite for your goodwill message. I'd like to invite for your goodwill message. Miss Blessing, all the way from Action Aid, ladies and gentlemen, please can we put our hands together for her? Please can we clap for her? Can we clap for her? Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, the room is very quiet. I don't know what's happening, but we can be more, bring more life into this. So my name is Blessing Ifemenam. I work for Action Aid. I'm here to represent our country director together with my colleague Ejembi, who is also there. Action Aid is a non-governmental organization, international non-governmental organization working in Nigeria across the 36 states. We also have our footprint in over 70 countries of the world. So we're very happy to be here, really very happy, because there is no better time than this time to begin to talk about youth participation in election, because young people make up over 50% of the demographic and the voters in Nigeria. So it is now is the time for us to have a conversation. How do we get young people to become involved in the process when it comes to, election, beyond acting as, party, people that the political parties use, but also being able to exercise their votes and also defend their votes. So Action Aid is very particularly interested to be here because election is also one of the core things that we do in Action Aid Nigeria. And we also work with young people. We prioritize young people in all our engagements. So recently, we already have a movement of young people that we call the Gen Vs. Because when we talk about young people, like I said, they are very important when it comes to election issues. So this Gen V movement is across about 6 states where we're working, and we're also looking to expand them to other parts of the country. So this conversation, like I mentioned, is very timely, and we are really happy to be part of this process, and we wish you all the best. And I hope that the outcome of all of this process will go beyond this room, but also to ensure that the young people across other states that are not here will be able to also contribute and get the valuable products that comes from this meeting. So I wish us all the best and wish us a good engagement. And also congratulations to the organizers. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Blessing. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome the representative of JCPD. Please, are they here? Please, can we clap for them? Can we clap for them? JCPD, can we clap for them? Thank you so much. The gentleman is coming behind. Thank you. Please, we can do better. Please, can we clap for him? Can we clap for him?
Okay, thank you very much, MC. It's actually JDPC, Justice, Development, and Peace Commission. Yes, so we are so delighted to be here among you today to have this discussion, this very, very important discussion. And I'm standing here on behalf of the Catholic Archbishop of Abuja and also the Executive Director of Justice, Development, and Peace Commission, Very Reverend Father Sebastian Sani. And I'll just quickly read his goodwill message on his behalf. Distinguished guests, development partners, civil society leaders, government representatives here present, permit me to just stand on the existing protocol. We are delighted to be part of this important national conversation, reclaiming our voice. Because the future of Nigerian democracy cannot be discussed without placing young people at the center of the conversation. Nigeria is a youthful nation. Young people constitute the largest demographic segment of our population, with those between the ages of 18 and 35 representing a significant proportion. Our electoral statistics also demonstrate that enormous influence of young Nigerians who constitute the majority of registered voters are very important. This reality presents both a tremendous opportunity and a responsibility. The youth vote is not merely a number. It is a powerful instrument for shaping the leadership and direction of our nation. However, numbers alone do not change society. Participation does. If young people register to vote but do not vote, democracy loses an opportunity. If they vote but do not make informed choices, the opportunity is weakened. And if they surrender their vote to inducement, manipulation, violence, or apathy, they surrender their power to shape the future they deserve. This is why Reclaim Our Vote is so important. History has repeatedly demonstrated that young people are capable of extraordinary leadership. And examples of them are Alexander the Great, achieved remarkable military and political influence while still in his youth. Myra Black was elected to the United Kingdom Parliament at just 20 years of age. Oremet became a member of the parliament in Uganda at 19. And in Nigeria, we know our very famous previous Senate President, Anyim Pius Anyim, who became Senate President at the age of 39. These examples remind us of one fundamental truth. Age should not be a barrier to responsible leadership, civic participation, and national transformation. But we must also recognize that reclaiming our vote goes beyond simply casting a ballot. It means reclaiming our voice, energy, conscience, and responsibility as citizens. We therefore call on Nigerian youth and the young people in this country to register, collect, and protect their vote. Vote based on competence, character, credibility, and vision, and not ethnicity, religion, religious inducement, or intimidation. Reject vote buying at all forms. Demand accountability from elected representatives before, during, and after elections. Participate peacefully and responsibly in democratic processes. At Justice, Development, and Peace Commission, we believe that democracy flourish when citizens are informed, included, and empowered. Our commitment to youth development, human dignity, and social justice, peace building, and inclusive governance compels us to support initiatives that strengthen meaningful youth participation in Nigerian democratic process. Let us therefore move from youth as spectators to youth as stakeholders, from youth as voters to youth as leaders, and from youth as future to youth as active partners in building Nigeria today. On behalf of the Executive Director and the entire team at the Justice, Development, and Peace Commission, we want to thank the organizers of this event for putting up this very important event, and we wish you all a wonderful discussion. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, our last speaker. When the protocol brought JCPD, I was wondering where the name is coming from, but when I got to understand that civil societies have so many names, so I just kept quiet. But send me well to your director, Father Sani. We appreciate his presence. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, she's been here and she came quite on time. Not just the fact that she has a lot of things to do, but she decided that this event is a priority to her. Ladies and gentlemen, for her goodwill message, the representative of the director, NOA, Dr. Oluwa Kemi. Please, can we applaud her, please? Thank you so much. Thank you, madam.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm glad that at least 80% of us in this hall are youth. So once again, good morning, good afternoon, whichever is applicable. Distinguished guests, representatives of election bodies here present, keynote speaker, sir, who happens to be one of our partners too in NOA, members of the media. It is with great pleasure and privilege to be here and to be part of this election roundtable, convened around a theme that speaks directly to the future of our democracy, reclaiming our vote, emphasizing a new generation of voters. On behalf of the Director General, National Orientation Agency, Malam Lanre Issa Honilo, I commend the organizers for creating this platform for frank reflection and constructive dialogue on how we can strengthen citizens' participation in our democratic process. Our vote is more than a ballot cast on election day. It is the most fundamental expression of citizenship in a democracy. It is citizens' opportunity to choose leaders, to also demand accountabilities from leaders elected, and also to influence the direction of the society. Yet, across many democracies, not only in Nigeria, we are confronted with challenge of declining trust, voter apathy, misinformation, vote buying, election violence, and the growing perception among citizens, especially our youth, that their vote do not make a meaningful difference. This is why reclaiming our vote must begin with reclaiming the citizens' confidence in the democratic process. Nigeria is a youthful nation. Our young people are not merely the leaders of tomorrow. They are active stakeholders in Nigeria today. Their voices, choices, and participation will significantly determine the quality of our democracy and the future of our very dear country. Emphasizing a new generation of voters therefore requires more than encouraging young people to register and vote. It requires equipping them with the knowledge, confidence, and civic values to participate meaningfully and responsibly. At the National Orientation Agency, we believe that civic education and values reorientation are essential pillars of democratic development. Citizens must understand not only how to vote or how to register, but why their vote matters, not only their rights, but also their responsibilities. We must empower voters to reject vote buying and selling, to also resist manipulation and misinformation, to also shun electoral violence, and demand issue-based campaigns from political actors. We must also create a democratic environment where eligible citizens, especially young people, women, and persons with disabilities, feel that the democratic process belongs to them. As we look forward towards 2027 general elections, our collective responsibility is to make voting meaningful and credible. We must move from a culture of electoral participation as an occasional activities to citizenship as a continuous responsibility. This requires collaborations among election management bodies, government institutions, political parties, civil society, traditional and religious institutions, the media, development partners, technology partners, and most importantly, citizens themselves. We must take civil and voter education beyond the traditional campaign period. It should begin early and be sustained continuously and reach citizens at the grassroots across our communities, schools, primary schools, tertiary institutions, workplaces, and digital spaces. The National Orientation, with its nationwide structures and grassroots presence, remain committed to playing its part in this national effort. Through civic education, value orientation, and voter sensitization, and partnership with organizations like your own, we will continue to encourage Nigerians to see their votes as instruments of national development and peaceful democratic change. But we must also listen to the new generation of voters. We must understand their concerns. Government must also address the barriers that discourages their participation and give them genuine opportunities to shape the democratic conversation. Reclaiming our vote is ultimately about reclaiming our voice, our agency, our collective responsibility for Nigeria. Let us therefore use today's roundtable not merely to discuss challenges confronting our election, but to develop practical and sustainable solutions that will restore confidence, deepen participation, and inspire a new generation of Nigerians to embrace democracy. The future of Nigeria cannot be left to apathy or manipulation. Our vote must count. Every voice matters. Every citizen has a role to play. Once again, I commend the organizers once again for this timely initiative. I wish the roundtable fruitful deliberations and actionable outcomes. Thank you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I also want to quickly say that national anthems is one of our core national symbols, but we should also know that at occasions like this, a program like this, we are to just sing the first stanzas of the national anthems. The 3 stanzas are reserved for national programs or national events, like inauguration of the president, inauguration of the National Assembly, Democracy Day celebration. But it's a good thing. At least some of us youth in this hall, maybe for the first time, we have forced to sing the 3 stanzas of the national anthem. Thank you.
Thank you. Please, can we give her a round of applause once more? Thank you so much, ma. Ma, please, can we sing national anthem again, the first one, so you'll be okay? Yeah. Thank you so much, ma. Thank you so much. You're doing a great job. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for me to invite my guest speaker. But I'm sure the atmosphere is looking too calm. I don't know if you agree with me, but please, can we stand for a few seconds? Can we just stand for a few seconds, ladies and gentlemen? Can we stand for a few seconds? Can we all stand? So this will be very special and simple. So please, can you turn to the table beside the person seated beside you and clap for the person? Can you clap for the person beside you? Clap for the person beside you. Clap for the person beside you. Clap for the person beside you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Thank you. Please take your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for me to invite the University Don, the inventor of our time, a gentleman par excellence, a man I personally love to listen to because he's not just intelligent, he's very smart. Few seconds, please. Okay, so before I do that, I'd like to invite Dr. Gerard, please. Thank you, Dr. Gerard. Please, can we clap for him? Thank you so much. Thank you. I had your name, but I didn't know when I was going to call you. I didn't know it's now.
No problem.
Thank you.
No problem, sir. So, distinguished guests, esteemed partners, ladies and gentlemen, please permit me to stand on the remarks earlier made. So it is an honor to stand before you on behalf of Nigerian Civil Society Organization Strategic Group on Sustainable Development, popularly known as Nigerian CSO SDGs. I want to begin by sincerely appreciating the stakeholders that are committed to advancing sustainable development in Nigeria. Today's gathering is not just another program or event, it's a reflection of a shared commitment to building a Nigeria where progress is inclusive, development is equitable, and no one is left behind. You see, we are in a climate of election, and you begin to hear things like, all things are fair in politics and in war. You will hear, Nigeria won't vote for or won't come out to vote if they perceive that APC will win. You will hear, if you don't vote for a Muslim ticket, you're on your own. So these are the conversations going on in the media. But criticizing electoral process is easy when you are not responsible for conducting one. So recently, medical doctors in Owerri were seen throwing punches and destroying chairs for an ordinary union election. And then not long ago, the NBA, an association that has consistently advocated for electronic voting, also experienced glitches during an election. So if unions as small as NBA could have issues with the election, this tells us that sitting down and criticizing INEC might not be the way out. These incidents are a reminder that organizing a credible election, even within professional body, if it can be that challenging, then what about the diverse nature of Nigeria conducting a credible election? It's easier to criticize, so that's why this conversation is to help us build, strengthen, and see areas we can help the electoral actors when the time comes. For us as CSOs, what we want is a sustainable, inclusive development that ensures a Nigeria, like I mentioned earlier, where no one is left behind. I'm using this opportunity to place, if you are not a part of the civil society of about 800 group working together towards an inclusive development where we are looking towards a government come next year that not only sees SDG as a mantra, but working very assiduously to see it realized. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure we could be in the mood to listen to our University Don, the inventor of our modern times, ladies and gentlemen, Professor Ambassador Inventor Obiodun Michael. Please, can we welcome him in a very special way? Can we clap for our guest speaker? Can we clap for him? Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Let me begin by thanking God first, because He made today to come to reality. Still standing on the existing protocol. I could remember in the year 2012 at Ibadan, when the National Council on Science and Technology came up with special idea, and from there I was able to join the chariots, and in my closet I realized without technology we are wasting our time in Nigeria, and we are only giving ourselves a special headache. Because the essence of technology is to create solution to every problems. And in the developing countries, such as Nigeria, technology is a way forward for any electoral process. And I thank God today, the polling unit ambassadors of Nigeria, they took up initiative like this, and today, Create Studio has come up also with exactly what I saw in the year 2012, which is a man can stay in his house, nothing wrong with it, and you vote conveniently without going to the polling units, which I believe it is true. But all the same, as I give you this keynote address today, I wanted to serve as a food for thought, because my word is my bond. Thank you so much. As I move into the arena of this keynote address. Distinguished guests, fellow citizens, community leaders, and most importantly, the young architect of our future. We gather here today at a crossroad. On one part lies the comfort of a status quo, where a minority of voices dictate the destiny of the many. On the other lies the promise of a true democracy, messy, loud, inclusive. To choose that path, we must do two things: reclaim our vote from the forces of apathy and obstruction, and enfranchise a new generation that is ready to lead. And I think I am saying the new generations here. It shows that we are ready. The theft of silence, the silent killer. Let us be honest. The right to vote is the oxygen of democracy. Yet for too long, we have been holding our breaths. Voter suppression is not a relic of the past. It is sophisticated weapons. Evolving acts from the purging of voters roll out to the closing of the polling places in minority neighborhoods. From strict voters' ID laws that solve the problem that doesn't exist to the gerrymandering that makes our vote feel like a drop in rigged ocean. The message is clear. Stay at home. Your voice does not matter. Two keywords, very strong, is what they strategically and technically tell us. Stay at home. Your voice does not matter. Even if you are dying, it's none of our business. But it's got to stop. Tell somebody by your side, it's going to stop. What I tell you today, silence is a vote for the way things are and the way things are failing us. When we allow barrier to stand, we are not just losing elections, we are losing the legitimacy of our governance. We are telling our children that power belongs to the few, not to the many. Reclaiming our vote means reclaiming our power. It means challenging every laws, every policy, and every administrative orders that denies a single eligible citizen their constitutional right. It means moving from passive consumer of news to active guardians of our republic. The new generation, not the future, but the present. The present, you are all here and you are all welcome. Now, let us turn to the new generation. I refuse to call you the leaders of tomorrow. You are the leaders of today. You are the most educated, the most diverse, and the most digital, connected generation of human history. You have marched for climate justice. You have organized for radical equity. You have demanded economic fairness, all before you could legally buy a drink in some states. Yet the system treats you like an afterthought. It speaks to you in sound bites on TikTok, but failed to address the crushing weight of student debt, the existential dread of a warming planet, and the instability of a gig economy. Here is the hard truth. Your passion is undeniable, but your tumult is still inconsistent. Your cynics say you don't care. I know you care deeply, but you care on your own terms. Your vote with your dollars, with your boycotts, and with your social media. That is powerful, but it's not enough. The enfranchisement agenda, a call to action. To enfranchise the generation, we must transform how democracy works. We cannot hand you the rusty tools of the 20th century and ask you to build the 22nd century. We must not do that, even though we must. In the 14th century in Bologna, because we caused the problem for ourselves, when the world was called for the first university to be established, for we all to come and deliberate perfectly on the way forward on transforming the African continent, we slept off. I leave it there. First, modernize the mechanics. We must expand early voting, implement automatic and same-day registration, and make vote by mail a permanent, accessible option. If we can bank on our phones and file taxes online, we can vote securely from our devices. Technology is not the enemy of democracy. It is ally if we have the courage to use it. Because once it is time to drive any electioneering process with technology, the next thing is you will see people start dragging feet. It has to stop. Secondly, educate, don't indoctrinate. Civic education must be revived, not a dull recitation of dates, but as a vibrant exploitation of power. We must teach young people how to navigate the system, not just why it exists. We need to train them to spot disinformation, to understand local government, and to use that in the school board. The city council and the state legislature impact their daily lives more than the White House ever will. Thirdly, lower the barrier. We must challenge the archaic notions that voting should be difficult. Make election day a national holiday. Ensure polling places are on college campuses. And yes, restore voting rights to those who have served their time and re-enter society. If we believe in redemption, we must believe in re-enfranchisement. Finally, the intergenerational covenants. But this is not just a job for the young. It is covenant between generations. To the elders in this room, do not dismiss the idealistic of the youth is naivety. Remember that you were once a radical too. Your job is to open the doors, not guide them. Share your experience, but step back and let them run. To the young, Do not dismiss the elders of relics. They have fought battles you have only read about. They marched, they bled, and they died for every right you are inheriting. Honor their sacrifice by perfecting their work. Build upon the foundation, but do not be afraid to renovate the house. When my father died, the first thing that came to my mind was his library. Then I ran there, while others ran after his money. They ran after all the gold and silver and etc. I ran after the library. I packed all the books, and to the glory of God today, at the age of 45 years because I will be 60 in 2 years' time. At the age of 45 years, I became a university professor. You should know how fast I have run. My friends, democracy is not a spectator. Spot it. It's a verb. It requires actions, persistence, and sometimes discomfort. Reclaiming our vote means refusing to be a footnote in someone else's history. If you don't build your altar, another man's altar is waiting for you. So you don't have any other place you can call your own. Nigeria is your only country. As we leave this all today, let us not live with inspiration alone. Let us live with intention, good intention. Register a friend, drive a neighbor to the polls, run for office, even if it's just for the local PTA or city council. Challenge a voter suppression law in court, and most importantly, vote like your life depends on it, because in a democracy it does. The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice only if we bend it with our own hands. Then it is then we can now say it is our fault. But I am telling you in this room, it is not your fault that we find ourselves where we are. It is because we have leaders who pay attention to themselves but never pay attention to you and me. Therefore, I would like to use this medium to say, thank you. Let's get to work. I remain your humble and obedient servant in leadership. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I don't think that clap was for the university done. Thank you so much, Prof. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, while our keynote speaker did justice to the topic, I was told that we have to be gender inclusive. And you know, this gender can take anything. They have to import a gender to me. Please kindly help me welcome my co-MC, ladies and gentlemen. Please can we celebrate her? Her name is Joanne. Thank you so much.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, like my co-MC has rightfully introduced me, my name is Joanne Davo. They call me the executive host, and I'll be co-anchoring with Mr. Nick here. And we heard from Professor, quite an insightful one there with Professor, but we're not just here to, hear speeches. We're also here to engage. Everyone's voice, everybody's voice matters in this conversation. Everyone is a stakeholder, and that leads us to the next part of engagement this very afternoon. It is the stakeholders' engagement, where we get to cover these key topics. First is on electoral violence prevention. Also, we'll be looking into citizens' trust in democratic institutions. And we also will be looking into inclusion of women, youth, and persons with disability. Also, another key thing we'll be looking at during this roundtable discussion is vote buying and voter apathy. Quite a packed one there. So right about now, we'll be getting to that segment, which is stakeholders engagement, and a roundtable discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Prof. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, while our keynote speaker did justice to the topic, I was told that we have to be gender inclusive. And you know, this gender can take anything. They have to import a gender to me. Please kindly help me welcome my co-MC, ladies and gentlemen. Please can we celebrate her? Her name is Joanne. Thank you so much. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, so this is all we're going to be discussing about, and so we all know our groups and where we stand. So we'll have the next 5 to 10 minutes where we engage each table and each group. Then once we are done with that, we'll have somebody from each of the group to give us your resolution on your discussion and what you've come up with. So in the next 5 to 10 minutes, so please discuss internally with your team members and everybody in the group. Let's have wonderful resolutions. Let's have ideas how best we can move our democracy forward and Nigeria to be a better place. So ladies and gentlemen, I come back and then we have a resolution from each of the tables and each of the groups. You have your jotters, you have your pens. These are all our topics. These are all we shall be discussing about. Citizen trust, everything we'll be discussing about. So vote buying, all that. So let's have a conversation on each tables, and then we'll have somebody representing each table, yes, to give us their resolution. Thank you so much. Thank you. So I was told to go through it again. So please, I'm sure you could listen. Yeah, political misinformation and fake news. Yes, political misinformation and fake news. Electoral violence prevention. Citizen trust in democratic institutions. Inclusion of women, youth, and persons with disability. Vote buying and voters' apathy. Okay. So I'd like to call my colleague to please do an insight to it, then we'll move on.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. This is the point and where we engage ourselves on the reasons why we're here today. Hello? Hello, good evening. Please, can we have one house, please? This is why we're here today. And then we would like to see how we can deepen this conversation by making sure everybody interacts with each other to come up with a resolution on the way forward on those topics we have on the board today. So this is how it's going to work. We have about 7 tables. We're going to throw the topics open. We are all stakeholders here, so we need to discuss all of these topics and come up with a resolution, at least one from each table. So we are going to have a moderator on each table that will, moderate the conversation as it goes, engagement. Everybody talks about each of the topics as it's been saying on the board, and we can have a full discussion and come up with at least 1 or 2 resolutions so that we can come up table by table to give our resolution on each topic. So, are we getting there? Do we understand how this is going to work? Can I see an affirmation that we understand what's going on? Is it okay for us to go that way, or do you have any suggestion? You have a suggestion? Okay. Because this is a stakeholder meeting, and then we need to discuss properly.
All right.
Okay, thank you so much. Just a suggestion, so that probably the tables don't get to pick the same from the 5 points.
Yes.
Could you maybe assign each table to a particular topic? Because if you leave it open, like 3 tables might actually pick one thematic focus. And we might end up in a situation where the other no thematic areas might be touched.
Okay, thank you very much. We thought about that as well, but because we have more than 5 tables, more than the topics we have, so we felt that this is a topic everybody is interested in. One way or the other, you have 1 or 2 contributions to any of those topics. So that's why we felt that we should throw it open. Choose the one you feel comfortable with, or if you want to make a suggestion on one, because I know it's very long. It has to be detailed. So we should come up with something. But if anybody feels what he said is okay, maybe we can just put it to a vote. Do we go with the original plan, or we can go with what he said? Original plan is fine. Okay, so that's the plan. We're going to have a discussion on each tables. Get a moderator on each of your table, assign somebody so we can come up with a resolution. I think we have about 20 minutes for that. So if we can do that in 20 minutes, that would be fantastic. So each table will assign one person to present their resolution at the end of the day. So thank you very much. Do we have any other questions?
Without tables, find table.
Okay, so those of you without table, especially our youths and some of which are creative departments, you can also look at all the topics and come up with your own suggestions. You can write something down. At the end of the day, we can still get a chance to read it if time permits us. So please do that, and we can incorporate it into whatever we come up together at the end of the day. Thank you very much. So let the deliberation begin. Please, we have about 20 minutes to do that.
I think from those seated behind,
Yes.
they can just form a group by themselves. So it becomes very easy for everybody.
Okay, we have one group
Yes.
here, we have one group there, we
Yes.
have one group there. So
So
we have 3 other groups that can also
I
contribute.
think they can come up with 4 groups behind, all those seated. So form of like 4 groups. So my chairman, all this is your group, all this is your group. So
Okay.
it become easy.
That's fantastic.
Thank you.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much. Let the discussion begin.
No problem. Can you read the questions again for them?
Okay, like the topics again, as you can see on the board, we have political misinformation and fake news. I'm sure the media people are very, very interested in that. Electoral violence and prevention, citizen trust in democratic institutions, inclusion of women, youth, and persons with disability, and vote buying and voters' apathy. These are focal points, so let us get into it as soon as we can. Thank you very much.
All right. Multimedia, please can you help me change this to this? Just a few seconds. Can you take this to this so they can see clear? Multimedia, please just take this to this. Please, can we run up? In 3 minutes, I'm sure we can run up, please. Then please pick somebody that will represent your table or your group.
Let's begin to round up our discussions, and I think every group by this point should have more like a group head that will come up and speak on behalf of the group. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Please, can all our media or everybody come inside the hall? All those still outside, please, can you come back to the hall? Please, all those outside, please, can you come into the hall? Thank you with all your deliberations. I'm sure we are ready. I remember the real exam hall. By this time, everybody's trying to rush out. I remember. Please, all the cameramen and ladies, the media, please, can you all come in, please? Still outside. Please, can I have your attention, please? Please, can I have your attention, please? All right, thank you. So, Joanne, please, can we concentrate? Thank you for your time. Thank you for your deliberations. So it's time to listen to your views. It's time. Thank you. So who's the first table? So please, when you come, you just tell us your name and you tell us the table you represent.
And the topic as well.
Yes, and the topic.
Can you just slap it in ABC so that just call them by their letters? You understand?
So, Nick, I think we have a number of tables that are done, and we're going to work according to those who identified that they had finished their works early. And I think, Nick, we need to label the table so that we can, have an orderly way of calling them up to make their presentations.
I agree with you. So that means this is table 1, right? Table 2, and the last is table 3. Yes, so this is 4, and this is 5, and that is 6, the last 7, 8, and then 9. So table 1, are we ready? We are not ready, table 1.
Nick, if table 1 is not ready, I think we can call on other tables.
Table 2, are you ready? Yes, are you ready? So table 3, are you ready? Table 4, are you ready? Table 5, are you ready? Wow, when there is action 8, everybody must have action here. Yes, they must have. So please, who's speaking on your behalf? Please come this way. You have to come here so everybody can watch you. So you can come together with your colleague and give him some moral support.
Please put your hands together for them as they
Can
come
we
up
clap for
to
them?
make their presentations. Thank you.
Please, can I have to start silent, please? Please come this way.
Can maybe just mention it so I just know the background to give. Okay. I'll give like an introduction. Do the introduction. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. That's not good enough. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you. So we'll be representing table 5, and we went with option 4, which is inclusion of women, young people, youths, and PWDs. So I'll be handing over to my colleague to lead us through.
All right, so how we did it was that we'll look at the problem, then we'll come forward with a resolution. So the first problem we saw was that women participation is very low when you take the statistics, the last statistics that was put out by INEC as from the Anambra election as to how many women participated. Nigeria has a population of over 53% women, and 37% of that is a voting population that are females, women. But every year, many of these women are not able to vote because of cultural barriers and other issues. Our resolution is that women, youth, and people with disabilities should be given priority by creating a special program to assist them and educate them on how to participate in the electoral process.
Okay, secondly, we looked at the cost war. If you look at our country and also using the, for example, APC presidential election form of 100 million. And since the Not Too Young to Run Act came to be in 2018, it's been 8 years now, and the cost war keeps getting higher, meaning only those who can enter the system is those who probably have a famous last name, meaning their parents probably had money, or those who currently have money. 100 million for a minimum wage earner of 70,000. If you benchmark that, somebody has to save all his salary for about 119 years. No transportation, no food, no accommodation, to be able to just to buy the form. That's not campaign costs, nothing. Let me shock you. Premium Times also reported that for a civil servant, a permanent secretary, to be able to buy a presidential form of 100 million, that person has to save his entire salary for about 13 years to just buy a presidential form. So that tells you that there's already a big wall that already exclude people. So for that, we are recommending that within political party systems, there should be a quota system where, for example, since the youth demographic represents about 60%, there should be a quota system within each political party that whatever candidate they are bringing should represent that 60% of the population, right? And probably affirmative action like maybe reserve special seats for women, for PWDs, for young people, and something along that line, actually.
All right, so the next problem is the fear and hassle problem. Many people, especially people with disabilities, are afraid to come out to vote because of how volatile our electoral process can be. And the resolution we have is that young people should be fully involved by, INEC should get an election app that people can register, and the app will only be open on election day, except for people who may have to vote earlier because of their essential services. All right, so we also identify a problem that many young people who work on essential services, especially on election day, are not able to vote, and the resolution.
Yeah, so we're looking at probably having them, for example, security officers who get to work on election day are automatically excluded. So can we have maybe a voting system, maybe earlier, for them to also get to exercise their franchise?
All right, so that was all we were able to do. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I knew that table would come up with something very good and unique. Please, can we clap for them? Can we clap for them? Okay, so I think the other table is ready.
Yes.
So can we clap? No, they came first. So that, okay, no problem. Who's supporting you?
Please put your hands together for them as they come up.
Thank you. After you. So, my name is Onoja Baba Eleojo, PhD. Standing with me is...
Good news, Oji.
Okay, we represent Table 6. We are going to be discussing electoral violence prevention. We are first going to describe what electoral violence means. Electoral violence includes any act of or threats of physical harm, coercion, or intimidation used to affect an electoral process. The youths of the country constitute as much as 70% of the population of the country. And most times when electoral acts or electoral violence is mentioned, your youths are willing to. I feel that one of the things we need to do is to preoccupy the youths. I don't see any one of us here willing to be used to commit such offenses because we are preoccupied gaining knowledge and impacting knowledge. However, we can only say that because we don't share ideologies with the people on the streets. And then maybe we can feed ourselves. So we have to look at the reasons why these things are prevalent, why they are continually being used. And among those reasons is because they are ill-informed. I feel that the youths need to be informed, educated, and given an opportunity for them to exhibit themselves in positive light. However, the primary duty of the government is to protect lives and properties. We cannot dismiss the fact that governments of today allow for violence to take place. You know, I remember during the End SARS rally, the government of the day was seen promoting thuggery, and the youths were the ones used against each other. I believe if we preoccupy them, we would get a different view. I'm from the Youth in Parliament Forum. It will interest you to know that my DG is Honorable Tony Nwolu, the man who passed the bill for the Not Too Young to Run Act. And he felt that the youth had been disenfranchised for so long. And as such, bringing them into mainstream politics and their ideologies will be a great deal for the youths to get preoccupied and be able to apply themselves. However, it has its limitations because cost of funding for elections and all that has limited them. We don't rule it out in totality. We look forward to the Nigeria that the young minds would be preoccupied, the young minds will be given the opportunity to push their narratives out there. We are going to, my colleague is going to take us through what she thinks will be solutions or possible solutions for electoral violence prevention. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm here to give solutions to sorry. But yeah, I'll go ahead. One of the things we talked about was peaceful political campaigns. We talked about youth engagement, voters' education, community dialogue, and accountability. While I was seated there with my colleagues, I talked about socialization. You know, when you use the word socialization, most people think it's just gathering together and just having fun. But then it goes a long way. I gave an instance of, as a woman, I give birth to a child. It is my duty as a mother to nurture my child and train my child in the way he or she should go, right? But then the child grows to a certain level and then leaves the house, goes to, starts another life, which is going into like nursery, primary school, where the child now engage with other peer group. The child learns something very different from whatever he or she has learned from home. Now, that is where teachers come in. They play a part in the child's life as well as the peer group. Then the child grows up more to the level where the child goes to like secondary school, and then the child meets different set of peer group again, and they learn something new or they learn something different from whatever they've learned. It might be something similar, but then it's on the higher level, right? Then we get to college, right? And then the child also gets to college and learns something different from what they have learned from home. Now, I used myself as an instance to my colleagues. I said, my parents must have taught me something different. I must have learned something different from other peer groups. And then I'm now older. It's now my time to make decisions of what I want in life, right? And this is where we come up with a solution. As I am right now, I must have had the opportunity to, they call it Nepo baby, to have a better life. And at my stage right now, nobody can come to me and say, oh, steal the ballot box or create a group to cause like a scene in different elections. But then there's somebody else out there that didn't get the opportunity that I have, and you offer this person money. Because if you give me 10 million now, I would never think about doing such a thing, because in my head, I'll say, okay, what can this money do? It can never bring my life back. It can never make my family feel better, right? So some of the solutions we came with: youth engagement. How do we help the youth? Yesterday at the event where we went to, we talked about involving all youth in political. Sorry? Okay. Now, we have to come together as youths. You talked about people who are educated and people who are not educated. There are different levels to these things. Now, as an educated person, we have to come together as a group to the communities to teach people about violence and how the repercussion to it. We talked about education. We need to educate them about the pros and cons and also how their life can be affected. If you vote the wrong person or you get involved in situations like this, it can go a long way. Like I said to my colleagues, if I vote the wrong person, it will definitely affect me as a person. I'm sure if our parents had done the right thing in the beginning, we'll not be seated here now talking about things like this. So it's now time for us to come together to make us have a better government. Lastly, I'm going to talk about accountability and community dialogue. For community dialogue, I talked about bringing in community leaders, bringing in parents, pastors, imam, sending out messages, like creating a group where these events can be communicated to them, and then they can go back there and also communicate to their members or their team. And then everyone who is involved in stuff like this can be held accountable. If there's a law that, sorry, one house, please. If there's a law where you commit a crime, you'll be held accountable for it, people would take the issue serious. And sorry, I don't like talking on mics and being in front of people. Sorry, thank you.
Even after 30 minutes. Please, can we clap for this group? Can we clap for this group? When she came up, she actually whispered to me and asked her, "Are you good? Are you okay?" To give her support. Say, "I don't like microphone, I don't like crowd." But when I gave her, she doesn't want to stop. Please, can we clap for that group? Can we clap for that group? So this is what we'll do. We have to summarize our timing so that we can contribute and ask questions. If we have 2 hours, we will not be able to leave here, right? So please, can we have group 2?
Please put your hands together as they come up to make their presentation.
Group 2, this one that a lady is leading. Are we going to leave here today? Okay.
Moving forward, every group has 5 minutes to make their presentations, please. Thank you.
Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Innocent Effiong, and my colleague here.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rosalind Lazarus.
So we want to discuss on political misinformation and fake news. That's what we deliberate on our table. So we came up with the concept, because before we go into this, we need to understand what the concept is all about, what misinformation is all about. So we said that misinformation is false or an inaccurate information shared without necessary intention to deceive the masses or people. So that's what we do. Sometimes people just see information, maybe on WhatsApp, in most of the social media space, and just copy and send to a group of people, and just before you know, things start flying without doing proper, check to know if this information is real or wrong. So when it applies to political information, you see, like now, we're in the season of political campaigns and the rest of them. People have started, due to 2027 that is coming. So a lot of information have been going around, in different political space, in different political party. So this is it. People continue to do copy and paste and send information, not intentionally, but because they feel like this message needs to go out, so they send it. And before you know, this message begins to cause conflict within different groups, religious group, social gathering groups, So this is it. So also, we talk about the issue of fake news. This is, is a false news, to mislead, or is a fabrication information that is presented as if it is genuine, but not genuine, just to mislead people. And in the political space, they do that a lot, because of, all this party campaign stuff, people, APC, PDP, they start sending messages just to mislead people so that they can push some other people to their own group or political party. So we also look at the consequences, because the consequences does a lot of damages to our society today. We do copy and paste, and before you know, we start having ethnic conflict in social media, so people start fighting themselves for no reason. So these are most of the consequences. Like, we talk about, one of the consequences we also mentioned is that misinformation influences voters, false misinformation. It also generate social media circle challenge. Political misinformation also create a divide, among citizens. So my colleague will do the little to balance it in terms of solution. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon again. So the solutions our group came up with. So there are some key steps you need to take before you make any post, especially when you're not sure. Once you receive an information, there are key steps you need to take. And what are they? You have to stop. When you see when any information is being sent to you, you stop, you check, you fact check, and be sure, is this information valid? Is it true? And who is the sender? You have to ascertain all of that before you share. And you also have to think before you post. You need to know, why am I posting this? Is it to gain followership? Is it to gain likes? Is it to gain traffic on the media? So these are some other things you need to check before you make any post. And you also need to investigate before you share. Then for the solutions we came up with is for digital training, also community fact-checking, and also teach young people how to verify content. Yes, there are some key things. Let's assume now you see a post saying, INEC says there is no election tomorrow. What are the things you need to look out for? You need to check, is it official handle of INEC that is sending that information? What date? Because sometimes information from the past can be repopulated and use today's date. But meanwhile, it might be old news. So you need to check out for the logo, who is the sender, the organization, is it the valid organization's logo that is sending that? Is it from their official website? Then also work with religious and traditional rulers. Pastors today, they influence our decision a lot. So if traditional rulers and religious leaders take it upon themselves, not just to preach about prosperity and long life on the pulpit, but rather sensitize people on what to do, on how to spread fake news, I think that will also go a long way in helping us to eradicate all of this. And finally, the use of media today, the use of technology has its good side and also the bad side. That people just feel, okay, because they have access to technology, they just spread information. And that is part of the negative effects of the use of technology today. And finally, use media to sensitize. Use media to sensitize, not just sensitizing in one language. Use different languages to sensitize people. You can say it in pidgin language, to any language that everybody will be able to understand that information you're spreading. Thank you.
So in conclusion, we want to say, don't quick to share, pause, check before you disseminate any information. Thank you.
The internet never forgets.
She said the internet never forgets. Please, can we clap for them? Can we clap for that group? Thank you. I think group 1 is ready. I like the gender inclusive of every group. Please, can we summarize to 2 minutes, 3 minutes so we can leave here, please?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Standing on already existing protocols, in group 1, we were able to touch everything as 001 that we are. And for the political misinformation and fake news, National Orientation Agency needs to embark on extensive sensitization of communities beyond social media and television sensitization. This could include refutals and clarifications. Also, hate speeches being posted online should be addressed instantly to avoid creating or forming stereotypes. And also, we also looked at electoral violence prevention. And we agreed that it starts with the utterances of stakeholders, in quotes, politicians and their alliances. To prevent electoral violence, stakeholders must lead and play by the rules. We are all aware that in Nigeria, there is the signing of peace accord, which in most cases, stakeholders do not abide by it. There should be sanctions. Also, we noticed that currently in most communities, there are new polling units that were created without the indigenous people being educated on their locations and purposes. Some of the activities of INEC, due to lack of proper communication, has created bad blood in the communities, with many indigenous people believing that INEC cannot deliver a credible election. There is need for the electoral bodies and the relevant stakeholders to carry communities along and get them involved in everything they are doing. The next point we looked at is citizens' trust in democratic institutions. And for this, we said that the democratic institution must implement transparent, credible elections, that the way elections are managed greatly influence and determine citizens' trust, and also that good governance is visible, and that is the only time that public trust is earned. And we moved forward to inclusion of women, youth, and persons with disability. We said that to ensure inclusion, there is need for capacity building, funding support, and safer environment for women. Nigerian youth population contributes close to 70% of the 230 million people. Unemployment, political and social subjection is one of the major barriers preventing youth participation in politics. There is need to remove barriers stopping women and youths from participating. There is need to enhance legislations that empower at least 70% of elective seats for women and youths. And there is also need to ensure that there are reserved seats for persons with disability in the 36 states of Nigeria.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chimere. So I'll be talking on practical themes on how women will be included in the political parties. So what we wrote down here is trainings, like for the political party to organize training for women to be sensitized. I also talk about the financial barriers. Last I checked, if a president wants to contest for an election, I think it's over 100 million, and women do not have that money. So we will need support, financial support. I know some do, but financial support to help in campaigning. We also have violence and harassment. Most women don't like harassment. So if there is any violence in a polling unit, I don't think women will go to vote. So that's my point.
And to conclude, we looked at vote buying and voters' apathy. And to prevent vote buying in Nigeria, the government must provide economic opportunities and decent jobs for the citizens. It is notable that poverty is weaponized in politics. To curtail this trend, economic empowerment, establishment of factories, digital skills, and flexible loans and grants is a necessity. We have to close on these notes that when people are economically empowered, they are not easily manipulated with vote buying. Instead, people can vote objectively. In 2027, vote wisely, vote objectively. Thank you.
Thank you. Joanne.
That is why they call themselves the 001. They took a holistic approach to it, touching on every thematic area.
Yes, and the ladies say the women don't have money.
No.
I don't know who started with that time of good evening. Please, we are still afternoon. Whoever started it, thank you so much. Don't change our memory. Ladies and gentlemen, the next group. Okay, that's the third group. Please, can you come forward? Please, can we be as fast as possible?
Also, let's try as much as we can to make our presentation in about 2 to 3 minutes.
I just cited the gentleman representing the Honorable Minister of Youth, Mr. Funsho. Thank you. So please, can we clap for him? Can we clap for him? Thank you so much.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ernest Oji. And my person standing beside me is
Idris Al-Hassan Ingawa.
Okay, from the first group till now, we've been having a male and a female. You know, we talked about round table. So for us, we didn't have a table, so we decided to go with standing committee. Yeah. And our women are so strong that they decided to say, okay, guys, go forward. So I want to look at citizen trust in democratic institutions.
Yeah, absolutely. If we look at the 5 questions, they all interchange, they connect in order to have a recurrent booth in Nigeria. So in this aspect, I will look at the 5 questions. We have come out with these resolutions. We have come out with these findings. 1, policy, framework, and implementation.
Okay, looking at citizen trust, means how much ordinary people believe that the key system of the democracy will act fairly, honestly, and in the public interest, even when no one is watching. So looking at this, we have a lot of things. We keep talk about issues, policies, and all. But Nigeria, our problem is not policy. We have a lot of strong policies on ground. But the problem is implementation. Our problem is implementation, and also, we also look at...
However, we also look at weak institutions and appointment.
Yes, talking about weak institution and appointment, you will agree with me that he who plays the piper determines the tone. So in a country like Nigeria, I think there's a need for us to decentralize that issue of the president appointing whoever becomes the leaders or the head of sensitive institutions like the INEC. We have great organizations that can probe, collect data, and also get information of whoever, these technocrats that are strong. Look at organizations like ActionAid and other strong organizations that have built their integrity over the years. And you would agree with me that these people can form a committee that would decide who becomes the next leader or the head of this sensitive institution. When they present their CV, present whatever they have to promote themselves. After scrutinizing, they can come up with somebody. And also the idea of funding. I think there should be a system in place that will fund these institutions without coming from the central, more or less like a percentage thing. If we know that a certain amount is coming, a percentage is coming for, let's say, INEC, regardless of who is leading, the person can actually make an objective decision without robbing the feet of the power that be. And also...
In addition to what he has said, if we look at it critically, in any institutions, if the appointment of INEC chairman is always coming from presidency, forget it. There is no way you expect result that you are expecting. You understand? So we look at it that the appointment of INEC chairman should not come from presidency. Because if the presidency appointed, definitely he must dance there too. But if there is some institutions, if there are some institutions that are responsible, okay, let it be say, this person bring his CV, this institution will look at it, and they will now appoint him. And all his form should not come also from presidency. It should come just like he said, there should be percentage from all these our revenue generating agencies that go to INEC. So from them we expect good result. Because as long as it is presidency that will be appointing INEC chairman, definitely, you know what is expected. Then the next we also look at the security reform, sir.
Yes, and not just INEC. When we talk about sensitive institution, sensitive institutions. We'll talk about other institutions, both DSS, EFCC, so that we have more objective people. And looking at even security too, the same thing. So I think we should go beyond just having this roundtable discussion and to engage the people and also bring back this trust. The statement, if you are not comfortable, go to court. I don't know if that statement is still relevant till date, but I think that statement blew up the trust of the average Nigerian in 2023. I pray that we have a better outing in 2027. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I think in terms of timing, this group is the best. Can we clap for them? Is it because there's no gender beside them? Yeah?
Nick, we're not going to go there.
Am I correct?
No, Nick, we're not going there.
Okay. So please, the next group, can you guys also do like this group? So can I welcome the next group? Coppers, are you ready? So no copper want Nigeria to be great.
Please put your hands together as he comes up to make his presentation.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ferdinand Onukube. I'm not a copper. The coppers declined to join me here because they say it's against their rules from camp. Okay, our group looked at vote buying and voters' apathy. Today in our electoral system is a very serious issue. We went down memory lane and discovered that this concept of vote buying was newly introduced into our electoral system. It wasn't part of us some years back, like 20 years before now. It's a new innovation that has eaten deep into our electoral system, and it's killing it by the day. We were able to look at the definition. We came up with a definition of vote buying. We say it's a process of inducing voters with money and material things in order to manipulate them and control their voting choices towards voting for people that have induced them with materials, not minding whether the people that are manipulating them are the right people, people that can deliver or not. Then we also looked at voters' apathy. We say is a total loss of interest in the electoral and voting process due to lack of integrity in the electoral system. And when we talk of lack of integrity, we're also referring to both the umpires, the INEC, the security agencies, and every other key players. Because today, the umpires are not doing what they're supposed to do. And that has led to a lot of people losing interest in our electoral system. In 2023, we have a lexicon that says glitches, and that dealt a very dangerous blow to our national electoral system. We also looked at some factors like things that can be looked into to enhance our electoral system. We talked about electoral integrity. If we have electoral integrity, it will reduce the effect of vote buying in our electoral system. Then voters' re-education. The political parties are not engaging us with issue-minded conversations. Today, for instance, if you go to Osun, which is a case study now, you can see that the political parties are not telling the people their focus or what they are coming into power to do. Rather, they are using intimidating words, violence, and rubbing it at people's voters' faces that whether you vote or you don't vote, we already know what the outcome is going to be. These are things that led to voters' apathy, that is leading to voters' apathy. Then we also looked at political accountability. In our system today, political parties don't have ideologies. Mr. A is for party A today, tomorrow is for party B. There is no political accountability at all. Things as such are affecting our electoral system and thereby helping to deepen or weaken the electoral system and the voters' confidence in the process. They also talked about civic participation, which involves you and I. We should be able to talk to people. Some of us already have concept to have in mind that whether there is vote by or not, we have the candidate we have as our candidate. But there are people who are easily manipulated. We need to be the canvassers of such good news that whether they give you money or not, you should be able to do the right thing, vote wisely. Then, I know my time is up, we came up with just 2 resolutions. One, we said that if INEC should stand up to their name and become truly independent and ensure that voters' voting counts, people will be able to build up their confidence and come out to vote. But in most cases, if you look at 2023, the greatest problem of that election came from INEC by that glitches they talked about. Then we also said that if the laws are enforced against people who are buying votes by criminalizing it, prosecuting those who are merchandising this merchant, it will help us to reduce the activities of vote buying. And also, we should be able to declare a cashless policy in voting environments. At the polling booths, at the collection centers, money should not be brought into such places because this is how they enforce the idea of vote buying. If you come to my polling booth and there's nobody to share money, if you are seen with cash there in some volumes, you get arrested. People will know that it is no longer business as usual, and our electoral system will improve. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Group members, can you support your group member? Thank you. I think the last but not the least is this group. Yes. Two gender, no opposite gender. Hope people will finish today.
So we are here to talk about the second point, electoral violence prevention and inclusion of women, youth, and persons with disability. So on our point, so I'm going to just go straight to the point on solutions. So for number 2, we talked about sensitization of the youth against being used as vessels or used as hooligans during election. You agree with me that these men or these politicians, they will have their kids or their people at home, most of them even chilling in the US, but then they send the youth to go out there serving as vessels, as hooligans to disrupt elections. So I think the youth needs to be sensitized against being used as vessels. And the second point is introduction of e-voting. I made this point, but then I was made to understand that it's already in existence. But then last year's election, I learned it was hacked. Because of time, let me just give my colleague to continue.
Good afternoon, everyone. So standing on the existing protocol, let me buttress the things she has said. So we talked about inclusion of women and youths and persons with disability. So some of the solutions we gave are, 1, there should be special reservations for women and youths in national positions. And there should also be reduction in the price of, I think people have said that, so I don't need to go over it again, reduction in the prices of tickets for those who are vying for political positions. Then we also talked about electoral violence, that there should be sensitization of the youths so they understand that they should not allow themselves to be used by politicians to cause chaos during elections, either at the polling unit or before or after elections. And then we also talked about introduction of strong e-voting systems. We understand that e-voting systems can be hijacked when the websites are not strongly built. So we came up with a solution that to ensure an election that is free from violence, introduction of e-voting where one can sit in his or her house and cast his or her vote will go a long way in ensuring reduction in the violence. And then,
so going to number 4, inclusion of women, youth, and persons with disability. We talked about ensuring mobility for persons with disability to polling units. You'll agree with me that some persons with disability find it difficult to have themselves go to the polling unit. So we said if the government can arrange for maybe a bus going from house to house, ensuring that persons with disability that intend to vote will be carried to the polling unit, just the way we run the school system stuff, that a child, the school buses goes house to house to get these kids to school. So if the government can provide a bus or something to aid movement of, because we have the deaf, the blind, and those that are physically challenged with wheelchair. And then we talked about all voting materials should have accessibility features. Now, you agree with me that persons, there are some people that are blind, but then they want to vote. I understand that the paper already has Braille, but those ones that are blind or cannot hear, there's this aid that they can put in their ear to get to know if it's APC, PDP, or whatever, and be able to make their, not really hearing aids. There's this aid that, I don't know what it's called, but then, hearing aid is for the blind, for the deaf.
Okay, he said that hearing aid is for those who are not hearing perfectly.
No, I'm saying this for the blind, because sometimes this is not available. The Braille is not on the ballot paper. You understand? So there's this aid that is provided for persons that are blind, especially for them to get to click, and get to know the maybe there's a sound to say APC, PDP, or whichever party. And then we talked about safety measures for persons with disability. Now imagine someone who is disabled that cannot run, and then there's a violence happening at the polling unit. How would they run? So they need to be assured of their safety. So if there's any form of safety that will be organized for, like I said earlier, a bus system coming to take them and ensuring that they they vote easily and return back home. I think this will make them want to be involved during elections. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
No waste time.
If it's not hearing aid, it's seeing aid. All aid is a aid. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's the last group. We'd like to thank everybody on this section, and then while I call the gentleman to throw more lights on it, and then we'll move to the next one. So, multimedia, please back to status quo. So, go ahead.
Thank you very much. I wanted to give a round of applause to all the groups for a wonderful job. Well done. Well done, well done, well done. Thank you very much. That was a very robust and deep conversation that we just had right now. So right about now, I want you to do me a favor. We'll be sending some people to go around to pick up your resolution. Just list it to 1, 2, 3, 4. Let somebody come pick it up. We're going to put it on our platform and see how we can continue the conversation online as well. So thank you very much. Somebody's going to go around now, so I'll pass it on to the MC to just move on with the next item. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. But by the way, Joanne, I think I love the inciting section that we just finished. I knew that Nigerians are very creative.
Very creative.
So, yes. Multimedia back to status quo. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are back to launch and do one of the key reasons why we are gathered here to do this. Yes. No, just keep it up now so everybody can see it. Yes. So, but by the way, I'd like to celebrate and welcome the CEO of Create Studios. He just walked in. A gentleman, very intelligent. He spoke to me excessively yesterday about governance and structure. Mr. Jonas, please can we clap for him? Thank you so much, Jones. Thank you so much. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite...
Yes, I would like to invite Lillian Aku up on the stage here because just like Nika said, this is the defining moment of our engagement for today. We've heard the discussions, we've heard the speeches, we've heard everyone's voices, and this is the defining moment where we get to accelerate action. So it is with great pleasure this afternoon that I invite Lillian Aku to come up here for the official launch of the Humanitarian Foundation for Social Justice campaign. Please, Lillian, thank you.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Standing on existing protocols. Before I proceed, my name is Lillian Azu, not Aku. A-Z-U. To the distinguished representative of the Independent National Electoral Commission, our colleagues from the National Orientation Agency, friends from the international community, civil society leaders, representatives of political parties across the divide, and ladies and gentlemen from the media, distinguished corpers that are here, would like to say thank you for coming. Every young Nigerian in this room whose actual voice is the reason we are here. My name is Lillian Azu, and I am the Executive Director of Humanitarian Foundation for Social Justice. I did not come here to deliver a speech that you were expecting. I actually came here to make a promise and ask something of everybody in this room. Let us start with the truth, with which most of us are too polished to say plainly. Please, can we have one house, please? Thank you. Nigeria's problem is not youth apathy. Actually, the problem we have is youth mistrust. Those are two different diagnoses, and they demand two different treatments. An apathetic generation is a silent one. This one has a voice. I would indulge every one of us to search the hashtag, my vote, my choice. And you would find thousands of young Nigerians who are laying out unsettling clarity exactly how they have lost their faith and their vote changes, and that their vote does not change anything in the society. It is the clearest record of democratic disillusionment this country has produced in years. Sitting plainly on our phones that we are carrying is actually a roadmap that would bring about change for us as a society. The real failure is not speaking. It is our institutions that have learned not to listen. We meet a generation raised on 15-minute second videos with social communiques This generation actually puts things on TikTok, and we meet them with press releases. We hold town halls at 10 o'clock meetings every morning and wonder why the seats are empty. For years, we have discussed young people in rooms, which has never once included them. Our organization has spent years working on spaces between power, trying to bridge the gap between young people and the political parties and the political class. If we have learned one thing above, it is justice delayed by silence is justice denied twice over. First, by the system that let someone down, and again, by every institution that never figured how to hear them. Today, we shift our focus. By making a public commitment in this room. Our work is to work on voting rights and engaging Nigerian youths in the electoral process and political life more broadly. This is not a trial run. We will not be quietly shelved on the other side of the shelves in offices or organizations by 6 months. This is a partnership. We chose this platform because it does not ask young Nigerians to sit still while an institution lectures them about democracy. We put the microphones in their hands. Over 500 vetted creators across the 36 states of Nigeria have already started building machinery to carry out a message this generation actually understands in their language, in their formats, in which they are able to understand, and in their own edited voices. A message that once needed 6 months to clear, a ministry committee can now reach in a timeline within Friday. This platform runs on a strict non-partisan standard. It does all of this without asking any of us to sacrifice the neutrality that makes our advocacy worth trusting. I am not standing here to sell you a platform. I am standing here because I have watched strong ideas die for want of the right messenger, and I have watched difficult ideas travel the length of this country because the right person carried them in the right voice. It was never about the quality of the message. It has always been about who got to deliver it. So what I am asking is, if your organization is working in Nigeria to strengthen democracy, if you're fighting for justice, if you're fighting for fairness, or the rights of citizens who have been told in 100 ways to be quiet, that their voice does not count, do what they've been told to do. We humbly ask you to bring your campaign here. Stop asking the press to release. Stop asking for a press release to do a creator's job. Let the people's cause become one that we carry forward. You will not be doing this alone. Our doors are open. So this is a platform ready to work with other NGOs, organizations, international partners, government agencies, and anyone in this room and beyond who is serious about turning advocacy into reach and reach into results. Find us at www.thehfsj.org. I repeat that again. Find us at www.thehfsj.org. Whether your work is rooted here in Abuja or on the other side of the country or anywhere in the world, we recognize no bother here. Neither should our response to it differ. Now, let me be clear about what today is actually about. It is not a ceremony. I did not dress for one. This is a round table working session. Everyone has issued their concerns. We have had the round table where we have discussed things that we need to do to improve the political process in our nation. Every hard question has been raised by civil society in this room, has been taken note of. Every uncomfortable truth that we have put forward, every clarification institutional leaders offer about what is genuinely achievable before the upcoming election, none of it is being filed away as a report that gathers dust. This is a raw material. By the end of today, our campaign, the hashtag #MyVoteMyChoice, will already be shaping the future. What is said in this room will not just be content. It would be debates and conversations that will actually engage the youths and the young people all over the nation in the language of the ordinary people and how the youths choose to be addressed. 50 years from now, no one will remember the communiques of this round table. Nobody would remember the communiques discussed in this round table. But somewhere in Kano, in Enugu, in a village outside Sokoto, a 19-year-old who was once posted, who said, "My vote, my choice," may cast their first ballots. Not because someone told them, but someone who looked like them, sounded like them, told them why it mattered. This is not a metric. This is democracy being rebuilt, one trusted voice at a time. Our organization has made its choice, and we share a commitment. We are asking every organization in this room to stop managing narratives from a distance and start building them from the ground up. This can be with us or with Create Studio, with the very generation we have spent a long time speaking afar from. But instead, today we choose to talk to them the way and manner they desire to be approached. Thank you.
Thank you, Lillian. Please, can we clap for her? Can we clap for her? I almost said that we should open a group chat and then send the speech there. But thank God she ran up.
And Nick, you know the interesting thing about discussions like these, forums and fora like this, it's the fact that there is so much passion, and then you see that young Nigerians know that there is a possibility for, a better Nigeria, and they have the technical know-hows, they have the initiatives on how to drive all of this. But we pray and continue to pray for better systems. Ladies and gentlemen, right about now, I will call on Amira Salahuddin for the product presentation. Please put your hands together as Amira comes up.
Always smiling.
Always smiling.
Create Studio Nigeria. You create, we pay.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope we are not bored. So what can I do so we can all get our vibes back up? So good afternoon, everyone. Let me start by asking a question to the youths especially. if you see a video of maybe Pella and Jarvis getting married, or you see an NGO video or something that's talking about situation of Nigeria, which one would you watch first? Let's just be realistic. And unfortunately, that's the reality, and that's what's happening. Even me too, my own self, I'll watch Pella and Jarvis video. So, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Amira, and I am the project manager of Create Studio. So basically, I'm coming to present to you what Create Studio is all about. Today, I would say that we need to move the conversation. It's not something that we need to be laughing about anymore. We need to be really serious, because whatever situation is happening in Nigeria, regardless of your age, is going to affect you, right? Even if you're coming from your mom's womb, you're 0-year-old or today's year-old, it's going to affect you. Maybe your parents are meant to buy you the most expensive milk, but you start to take Akamu because they cannot afford it. So this is necessary for every individual in Nigeria. Young Nigerians are online. They are creating content, sharing opinions, influencing their communities, and increasingly listening to people they can relate to. So why can't we make it that the serious conversations will be something they can relate to? So the question we are asking today is, what if your advocacy message could travel through the people young Nigerians already listen to? So that's the goal. The people that take the attention of young Nigerians, we need to collaborate with them to make sure that they are providing information, not just about their personal life, but information that would better our lives tomorrow and make everybody sit up and act. Now, the next slide is advocacy reaching Nigerians, but rarely reaching Nigerians where they actually are. The challenge isn't that advocacy isn't happening. It's happening. Do you know how many NGOs we have in Nigeria? Do you know how many advocates we have in Nigeria? But it's not something that people are really looking at or even caring about. The challenge is that there is no connection. Organizations invest heavily in civic and advocacy programs, but communication is still often top-down. Meanwhile, young Nigerians are having their own conversations online. You'd see that there's something happening in Borno or something happening in Kaduna State, but if you check what is trending right now, it's gay getting married, and unfortunately, he already told men that they shouldn't follow women. And men are like, oh, gay is getting married, when we are supposed to be focusing on what is happening in these states. We've seen that this is clearly with the why I will not vote conversation. Rather than even coming out, if like saying, oh, come and vote, go and get your voter's card, wouldn't get people's attention. Why not we start with the topic, why won't you vote? Why don't you want to vote? Obviously, people would talk. A lot of people that do not want to vote exist. So they could come out now and start talking about why they wouldn't want to vote. So the question isn't whether young Nigerians have opinions. They do. The question is, who do they trust to carry these opinions? That is why we're here, and that is why we created Create Studio. We had some young creators create some videos for us, and we would like to play it so that we can just get that vibe back. So please, media team, can you play the video?
Emeka believes that his vote does not count. He says, nah, forget that thing. Even before election day, they don't write the result about. But what he does not know is this, that the government of the people, for the people, by the people, would always be in the hands of the people, unless the people decide not to show up and vote. Hence, allowing their future to be in the hands of a few persons. You see, what Emeka does not know is this, that it takes the collective force of single drops of rain to cause a flood. And yes, we are able to flood out bad systems and sound systems that work. a system where I have to know someone that knows someone that knows someone no more. It's too long. You see, what Emeka does not know is this: that our children will read about us, how we continued in the labors of our heroes past by not embracing the narrative that our vote does not count. I mean, if your vote does not count, then why is your voter's card called a PVC? Your power, voice, and conscience. It begins with me, it begins with you. The collective decision of tomorrow lies in our hands.
Did that video move any of you? It did, right? So this is what Create Studio is all about, mobilizing the young Nigerians to speak about today's problem so we can find tomorrow's solution. Create Studio is now live. We've reached out to creators to understand what it is that we want to put out there. We already have creators across all 36 states of Nigeria, and we are going with a hashtag, why I will not vote, because we want to mobilize the youth to create videos so that we can sensitize people across Nigeria. We are already demonstrating what this infrastructure can do. So our invitation today is simple. Just don't tell Nigerians what matters. Put your narratives in trusted Nigerian hands. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Join creative challenges, showcase your portfolio, connect with brands, and start earning through Create Studio. Create Studio, Nigeria. You create, we pay.
Hello, creator. Welcome back. Let me show you how to complete your task for the week.
Sign up if you haven't already. Head straight to Menu tab. On the drop-down, click on Weekly Tasks.
Thank you.
It's important that you read through and understand the task before creating your video. After creating your video, head straight to the Menu tab and click on Submissions. Click on Submit Contents. Fill all.
Thank you, media. Once more, I would like to say thank you so much for the whole team in Create Studio. Please, can we put our hands together for the whole team? Can we clap for the whole team? Of course, I can cite the MD seated behind. But by the way, I'd like us in a very special way, put your hands together for our guest speaker once more. Prof, please, can we clap for him? Can we clap for him? I'm sure he's taking his leave now. Thank you so much, Prof. Thank you for being part of us today. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome my friend all the way from the Ministry of Youth, representing the Honorable Minister for Youth. Ladies and gentlemen, can we welcome Mr. Funsho? Can we clap for him? Can we clap for him, please?
Good afternoon, everyone. Normally, I don't like standing on existing protocol because if the protocol that has been set is set wrongly, you may be standing on wrong footing. But I think Lillian did a very good one with her protocol setting. So I will merely say a whole lot of cerebral people in the room. I recognize you. Good afternoon. Mr. Demola, the Managing Director of Conceptual, and of course, Executive Director Lillian, all other partners, international organizations. I greet you, and I bring you warm greetings from the Federal Ministry of Youth Development. The election in Osun is ongoing, so the Honorable Minister is away in Osun for the final rounds of the campaign, and that's why he's unable to join you here this afternoon. But he has asked me to extend his goodwill, and of course, to also present his apology. So I like what has been presented here, and I think user-generated content will help us a lot to be able to energize the conversation and the youth base. So now, speaking to the very engaging conversation that has taken place here this afternoon, the Federal Ministry of Youth Development, of course, believe that participation in democracy must go beyond being spectators, commentators, or only simply numbers. We heard about huge youth numbers and all that. By the way, Corpus We, sorry, that was my constituency. Good afternoon. So, young Nigerians must understand that their votes are their voices, just like it has been said here severally, and that meaningful participation in the electoral process is one of the most powerful ways to shape the leadership and the future we all desire. This conversation is particularly important because Nigeria has a very young population. Everybody here has quoted the numbers, 70%. If we want to strengthen our democracy, we must deliberately build a generation of young Nigerians who are informed, engaged, and of course, peaceful and confident in the power of the ballot. While I was seated there, I saw a small banner there, which I think what was written is a youth power at the polls. That to me speaks of the central idea of this whole thing we have tried to do here this afternoon, which is about enfranchising a new generation of voters. But when we say we want to enfranchise as well, it somehow suggests that the new generation of voters need some kind of incentives to vote. In fact, enfranchising means to give someone the right, privilege, or opportunity, especially the right to vote. But young people do not need to be given any opportunity to vote. We already have it. By our laws, once you are 18, you are eligible to vote. What we should therefore be talking about is whether young people are sufficiently motivated to vote. Why is it that in a country with over 160 million young people, which is what 70% translate to, only 37,060,000 young Nigerians between the ages of 18 to 34 voted in 2023 election? This is according to INEC data. And if, even out of that figure, majority only registered so they can use the voter's card as some kind of identity, not because they want to use it to vote. So the combined vote of all the four frontline candidates in the 2023 election is just roughly around 23,377,000. 23 million in a country of about 230 million people. So if 70% of the population is youth, Nigerian youth constitute 160 million. That would be the combination of South Africa, Ghana, and Kenya combined together. So it tells you that even if 1/4 of the Nigerian youth population vote, if we come out to vote, Nigerian youth will always decide who gets to lead this country. I believe that that is the youth power we're talking about. And that small banner over there is asking us to use that power without even waiting for any incentives at all. So as young people, we do not need to incentivize our electoral power. Democracy is a participatory game. It's not a game meant for bystanders. If we do not participate, our numbers as Nigerian youth become useless, and our power becomes useless as well. After all, bad leaders are elected by good citizens who don't vote. So if our excuse, like some of the presentation has said, is that, oh, if I vote, the politician will rig it, it will not matter, my vote will not count. We also have to acknowledge that people only get to rig because there is just a big vacuum created by those who have refused to vote. If young people turn out in large numbers to vote, it becomes difficult, if not impossible, for politicians to rig. Because each valid vote cancels out a rigged vote. Only from, and it is not an accident that politicians always reach from areas where there are big population. In my state, for instance, you don't celebrate your victory until they bring vote from as a local government. So if that vote from that local government has not come, don't even celebrate. So politicians only get to rig where you have big population. That's why we should know that our number is important. Numbers matters, and as young people, we should use that. On this note, I would like to commend the Humanitarian Foundation for Social Justice, the Create Studios, and all partners for bringing stakeholders together for this important conversation. I also encourage our content creators, like this platform that has been set up. We are also trying to do similar thing, because we just discovered that young Nigerians consume content and they consume news differently. So you might spend a whole lot of media budget on print media, electronic media, but essentially they just want that social media. So what we are trying to do now is to, so what we talk a content challenge. Let young people themselves create content that speak to fellow young people. So, and I think that's essentially the idea behind this as well. So I also encourage our content creators to use this platform to educate, mobilize, and of course inspire responsible civic participation. On behalf of the Honorable Minister and the Federal Ministry of Youth Development, I thank everyone for making it here. and for all your exciting recommendations. Thank you, and good afternoon once again.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Funshaw. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, whatever has a beginning surely will have an ending. But we'd like you not to rush because we have light refreshment. So it's either you take your seats. I think I'll prefer you just sit down. We'll bring to you where you're seated so we don't have rowdy, we don't have persons coming. So all of our team, so instead of people moving, let them sit, then you just give them so that we can take it orderly. Please don't leave your seat so we can be orderly. If you leave your seat, we'll pass your table and we'll up to the next table.
So we want to quickly say a very big thank you to everyone who has committed time to be a part of this program. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the organizers, participants, everyone who has come here to speak, and everyone who has also listened. Media, a very big thank you to all of you. Remember, just like Nick has said, everything that has a beginning surely has an end, but this is not the end of the discussion. This is the beginning of taking action. So we hope that the impact of this action will be seen in years and years and years and years to come. Thank you very much. My name is Joanne Davo.
Thank you so much. See you at the other side. My name is Nick, and have a wonderful day. Let's vote, and let's vote wisely. Thank you. Please don't leave your seat. We'll come to you. Don't leave your seat so we can be orderly. Chris Studio. Our team from Chris Studio, please come in front. Start all here, please. So we don't, please, the waters in the table too are for you. Please start from here like this, so we don't have people rounding at that section.
Create Studio Nigeria comes in. Create Studio is a platform that connects creators with opportunities to earn from content you already know how to create. Here's how it works. You sign up for free, you get creative brief, you create content based on those briefs, and then you submit. Top creators earn up to 100,000 naira a week and stand a chance to win up to 1 million naira and secure a 6-month ambassadorial deal. If you've been trying to get into content creation or you're already a creator, this is the perfect opportunity for you to get your work in front of bigger brands, build your portfolio, and grow as a creator.
What are you waiting for? Log on to www.createstudio.com.ng and start earning today. Create Studio Nigeria.